Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Fast Guard News. I'm Dwight Gibson,
I'm Roderick Payne.
and today we want to talk to you about safety while traveling. I don't know if this is I guess, over the holidays, a lot of people are traveling back and forth, coming and going, visiting family, friends, and there's always a concern for safety when you're traveling. So, of all the cities, major cities in the United States that people like to visit, whether it's the holidays or not, what do you think the safest city is?
I mean, there's a lot of cities that take their safety very serious. They have a lot of rules, like New York. Can't have no guns in the city. Sounds like it would make it safer, but there's not enough police officers for the amount of people that are on top of each other, and they haven't really came up with a way to exact that. When you think about safety, when you think about kind of like a closed location, because during the hot times of the year, the 6 months that it's actually sunny outside, in this place, you probably won't want to go outside and burn the skin off you. It feels like you're opening up an oven or somebody blowing a hairdryer in your face. Talking about Las Vegas. Almost everything, like I just came back from there this morning. It feels like you've been inside of a cave, because when you're thinking about it, the only time you really have to come outside is to go on the strip, but now they have almost all the hotels on the strip connected with bridges. Really? Sky bridges. Yeah, so you might have to be outside for 100 steps, and then you're back into a casino. Walk across a bridge, boom, back. Some of them are covered, and it creates a super controlled situation, but everybody's inside. When you think about the amount of money, my wife said this while we were on the trip. I said, man, you see these marble floors, marbles on the outside of the wall, gold crust, gold plated paint, this, that, every luxury store you could think of in every single hotel. She was like, yeah, this place was built off the losers. It ain't the winners that built this place. It's all the people that came here and lost money that created this environment. So I was like, man, that's an amazing thing when you think about Las Vegas from that magnitude, like trillions of dollars, each hotel brand of money just coming through that place every year, which creates a situation. When you have that much money coming through, cycling through, you have different levels of individuals. You got VIPs that come. I think I'm a VIP. I'm concerned with my personal safety. And what ends up happening in these places, they become targets. A lot of people. Everybody's forced to be inside.
And there's a lot of opportunists.
A lot of opportunists, and they got this thing called the Sphere out there, and they went to a concert inside of it, and it's all these cameras. You walk completely underground from whatever hotel you're in through tunnels, basically, to get into this place. And so if everything's not secure,
so you can't get into it from outside.
You can approach it from outside, but again, during the summer, like your skin's gonna burn off trying to go to this place. It's almost like the movie Day Shift, where the vampires go outside and their skin starts burning. Yeah. You can't really take it, and that's one of the advantages. And they came up with, hey, you know what? We can build everything inside through channels and everything. So really, there's no clocks on the wall. You're in Vegas. Some places might have 100-foot roofs. A buddy of mine pointed this out, 100-foot roofs, and they might have the roof drop down to make it look like you're in a place with 10-foot roofs because it makes you feel cozy. There's no clocks on the wall. You don't know what time it is. It's always the same lighting all 24 hours a day. So it's like living in a cave, and you really don't have to come out of the casino. But like I said, the opportunities, the amount of people. You talked about holidays. New Year's, they were showing that there were so many people in the streets of Vegas. They said typically they have about 1 million people that come there for New Year's on top of the residents that are there. And you think about all those extra people. You think about what's in the casino. You got rooms. Everybody got rooms. You could bring guns in your bag. You could bring whatever type of weapons you want to in that location. So one of the main things.
So you can bring a gun in your bag into the hotel, but you can't bring a gun onto the casino floor, correct?
Correct. And it's posted, and they let you know. But again, how many times has that happened? They caught a rapper, this guy named Little Baby, in the casino. I guess he was in there gambling. He's supposed to be a high roller and a famous luminary, and had a gun on in a casino. Maybe
didn't have security.
Maybe didn't feel safe. Probably not. Remember, everybody wants to be tough. And so part of that being tough is sometimes you got to find out what being tough is all about. You got to go to jail. You got to fight a case. So that's not an option. I've been in the casino. When I heard him get popped, being a retired police officer, I walked in with my firearm on. But after I seen the seriousness of it and how they could come after you and there's really nothing you could do because it's posted, they don't want you in there with it.
Yeah.
I had to kind of rescind. But again, how are casinos handling this on a national basis, to protect people? I say all the time, when I'm going into an event, I don't mind leaving my firearm in the car when I know that it's
properly secured.
Yeah, it's properly secured. Everybody else has theirs in the car. But when I see one guy patting down 3,000 people and he's just touching people's stomach and letting them in, it's like that's a dangerous situation.
So how has security changed in Las Vegas since the last time that we were there until your recent visit over this past weekend?
Well, if we think back to violent incidents that have occurred, 2017, I think the last time we were out there was like 2017 or 2018, but we went out there for Father's Day, and they had the Mandalay Bay shooting. The guy, 2017 starts chopping people down at a country music festival. Thousands of people outdoors enjoying themselves, and then now somebody coming to rain terror because why? He was uncontested. It really was nobody to stop him. They claim he unalived himself or whatever the case is, barricaded in. But that situation, just in 2025, two YouTube guys seen each other on the Strip, and apparently it was on site, and they handled it right in front of the Bellagio on site in broad daylight or whatever time it was, and it was live streamed, and several people seen it. It creates an unsafe situation. So, back then, I'd never seen an armed guard inside of a casino.
Right.
I would see law enforcement sometime, but you never see armed guards. It's a whole ecosystem inside of there. They got women of the night. They got, people in there, the whales, people in the gammas. So it's all different levels of people. I was playing beside a guy that was a billionaire when we were out there. So one of the people that was part of our party was pointing out that he doesn't see the need to carry a gun in Florida. And I was like, I was giving him my side of it. But the reality is if it's properly secured, which now it is, when we went out there, I ain't see an armed guard. When you walk the streets, you don't really see the police like that unless something's going on. We went there, I seen these guys, I don't want to point them out, but I seen them and I seen how they were dressed and how they were posturing. And I said, those guys are armed. So, me being who I am, hey, man, how you doing? Can I get directions over here? And he was like, yeah. I said, man, when they started having armed guards like that in the casino, he was like, man, it's a fairly new thing. I said, okay. So we ended up talking, networking, and got his number. We talked. And he was telling me, he was like, yeah, there's quite a few of us out here, which you shouldn't really disclose what numbers you have out there. That's not tactically sound. But they had over 10 guys, and we were in one casino. And they had a guy at every entrance, armed, sitting on a podium, watching everything coming in. If they trespass people, they get them up out of there. So they're really doing
So they're separate from the floor guys that used to be security. If someone had to get walked out, the guy with the suit would come over and ask you to leave or whatever. So now it's,
armed security and some uniformed, like the guys at the front entrance. Obviously, they're a show of force. They're a deterrent, which we talk about how armed guards are always a deterrent. I would say 97% of the time, armed guards don't have to use their firearms at the location. But the show of force, hey, this person has a gun. Hey, they're being vigilant. Hey, they're watching. They're not just sitting there on their phone. It gives a perception of this person's doing their job. One of our contracts at a casino requires for the guard not to be on the phone. That's the main thing they want to make sure of, and to handle. Hospitality is a real big thing when dealing with this type of security. This is like a subsection of security because not everybody gets the opportunity to work in a casino, and there's a lot of rules. There's licensing hurdles to jump over,
background checks, and the whole
and so. That is a
very deep and detailed background check.
Yeah, they want it all, and they want to be able to say that because they have to prove to the gaming commission as well. We got these people in here, and they're certified to be here. You can't be on the gaming floor unless you have the license. And so what changes? The level of security went way up. those shootings, those incidents, stabbings that happen inside hotels. We can go back to the Pac shooting and the fight they had with Orlando Anderson inside the casino. I think Mandalay Bay after the Tyson fight back in '96. And
I don't remember what year, but that sounds about right.
They jumped on him. That resulted in a shooting on the Strip. So it's a lot of incidents that you can name. I don't know why they didn't. A lot of people attempted to use law enforcement, but then you realize in order to, they were over 10. I would say maybe at 15, just in that generalized area. 15, think of 15 police officers being there 24 hours a day. Then you think about shift change. So now you got to have 30 police officers to be there. That's like a substation. So the only way that casinos were able to move forward is to form relationships with private security guard companies that will send them trained, licensed individuals that do just that. And it's a big void in it because it wasn't allowed previously, or it was just very hard to get in.
Right.
So that difference, I think, increases the safety. I felt safe in there. What people want to go do what two things do you think people want to do when they go to Vegas?
Gamble.
And drink. I was thinking the same thing. Gamble and drink. You know what I'm saying? So they gamble and drink, which means that you're out there with all your money and chips or whatever. Like I said, there's girls of the night walking around through the casino. It's not legal, but it's not frowned upon. So they're in there. They, you get your pockets picked. You have weapons unknown because there's no metal detector coming inside.
Is marijuana legal in Nevada?
It is, but you can't smoke it in the casino. So you can step outside.
You can smoke a cigarette in the casino, but not marijuana.
And a cigar, but not marijuana. Which, again, I don't. Cigarettes smell. I would much rather smell marijuana than cigarettes.
Cigarettes are horrible.
The issue with marijuana is once you start smoking it, it's so loud and you can't get it out of the
the casino gonna smell like
marijuana at all times.
Yeah,
and so,
that's what the Mondrian Hotel smelled like in LA.
But but that's what my buddy was pointing out. He was like, I don't really see the need to carry a gun. He said, I know you're a retired police officer, but you carry guns everywhere. There's no need. And I was like, well, what happens if a scenario happens and then you're in here and you're with your family and somebody comes in with a gun? He said, I'm 62 years old. It's never happened to me in my whole life. So
he has a point.
Yeah, you're like a cowboy looking for a fight. And I was like, I agree with him on one side. If you're there and your duty is you're there to relax, let your hair down, drink, you don't need to be walking around with a firearm. A person with a firearm drinking, most states it's illegal, number one. And then it's frowned upon. You're not going to make good decisions when you're inebriated. You're not going to do anything well when you're inebriated. So the best thing you could do is an extra set of eyes and ears and be a spectator. You're not, unless you get involved in something. So the casinos are looking to protect the asset, right? Like I said, this is built from the losers, and there's way more losers than there are winners in a casino.
Yeah.
And even the winners lose, because you know what you do when you hit a big jackpot in the casino?
Yeah, you give a portion of it, sometimes all of it back.
All of it back. Sometimes. Then even if you stop gambling, say you're one of those smart people to say, I'm done gambling. I'm going to go shopping. And you're going to go right down the aisle and you're going to spend money in all these luxury brand stores. So the money still stays in house. Like it's an amazing place. You come to the desert and you leave without your money. Yeah. And they're going to do whatever they need to do to protect that money. So finally they started enacting armed guards, trained armed guards. You got to think now this is a crowd situation. So you don't want somebody in there that's not trained, doesn't know how to shoot. Somebody that may be a hothead that might get in there and start something that could have been totally relaxed. But one thing I did see, there was a guy in there trying to start a problem at a table, and he's talking to one of the bottle waitresses or the drink girls that come around the table, talking kind of rough to her. And there was, when I blinked and turned around, there was 10 guys around him, surrounded. And he quite politely put his hands up and walked his ass outside. I was like, now that's security.
Yeah.
I mean, remember that security in a casino traditionally is surveillance. They got cameras watching everything and everybody, making sure the gaming officers making sure that the employees and the patrons aren't stealing. You have the people that are the pit boss, and they're watching everything, what's going on in the immediate area. You're watching. I heard even the guy with the rake at the dice table, he was telling people, hey, you can't have your drink on top of the table. Hey, that cigar, you got to back it up. You're going to get it on the. And so everybody's doing some sort of security. And you're dealing with a bunch of drunk people, and some of them have, mega money. But still, you have to abide by the rules inside of that, or you're going to get escorted out. The security ID, I think it's perfect. And
so were you guys in only one hotel that trip, or did you visit multiple hotels?
No, we visited. So when you're walking the strip, the way we walk the strip is, that's what I was going to say. If you wear jewelry to Vegas, there's a lot of bums. And there's a lot of people that they look out of place. They're not there for vacation. There was a guy standing outside doing backflips. He had like a boombox. There was another guy in a wheelchair that was singing. That when the music kept singing, he took the mic down and the music kept singing. I was like, man, I thought he sounded good at first. And then, so there's street performers, and that's what Vegas is all about. That's what people go there for. But there's also dangerous people walking out there, and there's the police presence and the security presence in the street is tremendous. Like it drops off. It's not a whole lot of security in the street. So we tried to navigate our way up and down the strip while walking inside of locations, but we were doing 20,000, 30,000 steps, and that's a whole lot of steps. But think about what you're doing. You're eating, you're drinking, you're eating, you're gambling, you're eating, and that's it. So that's the lifestyle of everybody that goes to Vegas, or you're going to shows, you're going to visit this. It should be a very safe situation, but when you think about Vegas, you got to think about Atlantic City, which is a gambling destination. Think about down here at Hard Rock. You think about Phoenix, Arizona, with their casinos, Northern Cal, Southern Cal, their casinos. Mississippi, Biloxi. You think about it all, and you think about if they don't enact that, like when we were hired to do the current job, the current contract that we have at the casino, there was another company there. And part of the reason they called us is because this company dropped the ball. And one of the things that are not tolerated in casinos is companies dropping the ball. So you have to be sharp in order to retain a security contract at a gambling facility or a gaming facility. So
or any facility for that matter.
Correct. You want people that are serious, but all of that red tape that you got to get through to get a license to actually be out on the floor, the job is fairly simple when you really look at it, but they want you to deal with things with like white gloves and, ultimately
customer service.
It's customer service, but you also got a gun on your hip, and that presents a danger within itself. So you got to know how to position your body. You got to know how to talk with people, try to de-escalate. This is where de-escalation techniques really come in. I didn't see those guys, the armed guys in the casinos in Vegas running up on people, nor do we have our guys run up and go hands-on on anything. We're there to assist the manager and the personnel in there. If they say it's out of control, then we step in and try to get them out. Nobody's trying to go hands-on and draw guns and stuff. You're inside a casino, and 9 times out of 10, you have your regulars. So there's people that come to certain brands like the Wynn. They might come to the Wynn once a month to gamble. The Wynn might fly them in on a private jet to gamble if they're spending enough money at the resort. So you have to look at it from that aspect. Like, they're not about to mess up no money having guys pull up guns on their big wigs. So you got to it's a really calm situation. They're there for emergencies. And I just want to throw thumbs up to Las Vegas and any other casino nationwide that employs armed guards or that uses armed guards from a private security company.
Yeah, we actually did about 6 bodyguard details over the past 2 weeks for individuals in Las Vegas that wanted to have personal protection while they were moving about in the streets and inside and outside of casinos. So if you want to book a trip to Vegas, you can do so on our website. I'm just joking. But you can give us a call at 844-254-8273, or reach us online at www.fastguardservice.com if you want to book security guard service or a bodyguard or personal protection. We hope to hear from you soon. Thank you and have a great night.
Have a nice one.
Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle.
It's Mattress Money Mafia.
I just put up in the bins, all we do is set the trends. I'm allergic to these niggas choosing money over friends. Every time a nigga saying I be trying to make amends, I don't listen to these niggas, they don't wanna see me win, 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 win. Whoa, niggas, yeah, whole niggas, yeah. I just need the money, I don't trust in no nigga, yeah. Get it from this music, so I put my soul in it. They can't listen to these niggas, they ain't fucking no women, yeah. Tryna make 100 mil, so they don't get it, yeah. Legend made the beat, and he told me flow with it, yeah. Got it from the mud, we was brought up no snitching, yeah. Rather have a long sentence than a death sentence, nigga. Yeah, belly in my body, I'm relaxed. On the college campus, flipping packs. Ray gon' put the city on the map. That's a fact. I just put up in the bins, all we do is set the trends. I'm allergic to these niggas choosing money over friends. Every time a nigga saying I be trying to make amends, I don't listen to these niggas, they don't wanna see me win, 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 win. Who to trust? Told my homie keep the hammer tucked. Never hesitate, you better bust it. These niggas try to rush, yeah. Gucci jacket fit me kinda snug. Making waves, but I never had to brush. They say Ray don't belong here. Don't you play with it? I'm a straight menace, but I ain't Dennis. Niggas hating, I could tell them niggas really fans though. If he was on the stand, he sing like Sopranos, nigga. Dior on my body, so I'm fresh. On the porch, you never left the nest.